What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Man Cave Media, sitting down here, as you can see, in the new and improved shop. Wall's starting to get a little more barren. We're losing parts, but we're gonna do a little update here on the Tim Cameron tribute buggy, aka Project Copperhead. I've gone ahead and put my battery back in, which I realize that gives it a massive problem with the weight being in the rear, but there's nothing you can really do. I've taken the passenger seat out. Now, I realize that's where a lot of the weight comes from. These Corbo seats are pretty damn heavy for being a light grade plastic. I've gone ahead and somehow I managed to resurrect my old Novak Rooster Crawler ESC. If you guys have been following my channel for quite some time, you guys will know that this ESC here is the one that was in the blue Dodge on the Bicentennial Trail video. What you didn't get to see in the video is that it went upside down underwater twice. And I thought I had killed it, but right here, if you can see that, there's a little rubber seal that protects the electronics, the insides, from water and everything. So I had it in the Dodge, and it just started acting up, and I wanted to put a AE2 in it anyways, and plus the switch broke off, so I had to wire my positive and negative for the switch together so it turns on the instant the battery's plugged in. So I have to turn on the transmitter first, then plug the battery in, and it's already ready to go. But I've gone ahead, I've drilled the holes, or I've drilled a hole big enough to run the your positive and negative leads for the motor, to where you can't see it because it's underneath the truck, but it's protected completely, so it's not going to be drugged, scraped against anything. It's hooked to the 27 turn axial motor. I have the stock Wraith not ESC. Wow. Cold days take a toll on your brain. I have the stock axial receiver in there. Put the stock axial receiver box back in. I've gone ahead and hooked up my servo, my ESC leads. They work great. I've driven the truck around in the basement. It's got plenty of power, and this time it looks like it actually might be able to pull itself up a hill no problem. But last night, right after I finished filming the start for it, for the project, I realized right here you can see I had to super glue. I had apparently cut into my tire while I was out on the trail. No, I didn't do it from profiling the tire, even though it is on a profiled notch. I never had it to where the air would completely hiss out of it. So I must have ripped it open on the trail somewhere, which is fine, it's no big deal. But that's fixed. It drives awesome. So far, I haven't tried it off-road yet because I'm actually in the middle of actually painting the body panels for it. Since we have everything in the burnt copper for the tube frame, I figured we've got black in the wheels, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the body panels in black. Now, the only thing I'm doing different this time is I'm not putting the full side piece back on. I'm putting it, I've already cut and trimmed the pieces off, and the panel pieces are going to run, they're going to connect where they're supposed to, but they cut off right here, so you still see all the inner workings of that tube frame chassis in the rear. So you get to see everything, it's all in the open. I want this thing to be as, in the tattoo world I'd call it biomechanical. I want it to be as biomechanical as possible because I want you to see everything except for like where I have my servo wires and everything all zip tied up. I don't want any loose ends on it. Now, on the hood I ran into a problem. I shot it with primer, I sanded it way down, and it orange peeled really bad and fish-eyed. Now, I also shot the side panels, but if you look at them, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the side panels. They shot perfect. So I don't know if it was just something to do with maybe the paint needed to be taken down even further and scratched up more. I was using 120 grit on it. Now I'm going to have to sand it all back down and repaint again. But just to give you guys a preview of what it's going to look like, even with the messed up black, we're leaving the top off. We're just going to have the piece coming from here to here to cover up the ESC so you don't see as much of it. And the rest of it's pretty much going to be naked, which is the way I want it. I mean, if it was up to me, I wouldn't even put the hood on it, but then you'd be seeing the receiver box and everything. If I had a big enough scale engine, I would have stuck it in there, but I don't, and I can't find one, so I'm going to have to run the hood. Plus, even if I did find the right one, I'd have to do an extensive modification inside here with these, and possibly even have to cut into my shock mounts, which I don't really want to do, because then I'd have to come back here to this other post back here and drill shock mounts, which that's not even worth the hassle. But that's where we're sitting at so far with the Tim Cameron Tribute Project Copperhead. Hopefully the next video we should have it painted, everything, all the paint's done on it. And we should have a running video with it to accompany along with that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and bring another member of the Man Cave cast in. Oh, we're going to get the Dirty Dingo here. The other burnt copper vehicle. If you notice, I have the stock glue tires or glue wheels with the flat irons on it. The rip saws, granted there are bead locks. I took them out there and did one run with it, and they had absolutely no traction whatsoever. As you can see, they didn't even clean right. So, a little disappointed with that. I might actually take the rip saws off the bead locks and put the flat irons back on. But the biggest problem I noticed, and yes, there's already scratches and mars, and my little imitation Proline winch fell off. Even though it was non-functional, it still fell off. This thing did a bunch of crazy flips and barrel rolls. As I had said in one of my build videos, putting the battery in the back either is going to help me or is going to shoot me in the ass, and it shot me in the ass. Every time the truck gets any higher than that, far off the ground, it just wants to flip. So I'm going to have to unbutton this one, go ahead and reinstall the battery tray up front, put the battery in the front so it stops flipping and it's got more traction to dig. Because I mean, the back dig's awesome, but the front just, it doesn't dig at all. It'll just sit there and spin, and I've never had that problem. Of course, I've never mounted a battery in the rear, but now I know never to mount one in the rear again. So, well, I think while I'm waiting on the paint to dry for the Project Overkill, I'm going to go ahead and take the body off of the Dingo here and do the battery swap over, which means I probably need to change all my wiring and everything, because I think the ESC is riding on the battery. Oh, no, I'm good. Just got to change my wire loom a little bit to get it to fit, but other than that, we're doing good. Project Copperhead's well on its way, and the Dingo, still waiting on the mud thrashers. They were supposed to be here. The cutoff date was today, and I still don't have my tires, so I'm highly unhappy with that, seeing how I ordered them December 23rd and it's now January 10th. But that's where we stand with that. Enough blabbing. I'm going to go ahead and do the battery swap over in this one, so hopefully next time it's out on the trail, you'll see it doing more than just flipping. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Comment things you want to see coming up. I know you guys are going to have a lot of questions and comments about overkill, or not overkill. I've watched so many videos on that, it's not even funny. I know you guys are going to have a lot of questions and comments about Copperhead, but leave them in the comment section and I'll answer them the best I can.